Kynhun Myntri kebleh kenduk hak khatlai terik unai lur. Kala menjur ban penkelano igi kendon jangka Meghalaya Human Rights Commission rules arhajar khatsau, hak badan kam ban penkelai ki katukan igi kentien. Menteri rang ba kejelau Konrad Kongkal Sangma uluang basi benai tam ke sorkar kala menjur ke ordinance hak bedai bat ka contingency fund. Bat mentai kene ke ordinance hak banra hak yang dorbar hak dur jangka bil. Kumta ke sorkar jela kala ajeng menjur banra ke Meghalaya contingency fund arjar arpuwei na ke benta benyo jeng menjur na ke yang dorbar. Menteri rang ba uluang ba ke sorkar jela kala rai ru ban penkelah temai ya ke MOU ke belesoi ha urisau ke senam arjar khatsau ha pedeng ketenat telecommunication jang ke sorkar pedeng ketenat information technology jang ke sorkar Meghalaya bat ka Bharat Broadband Network Limited na ke benta ban penteri kam ya ke Bharat Net Project ha berkowe ke jela. Konrad Kongkal Sangma uluang bakajeng pentemai ya kene ke MOU kari namar baka Bharat Broadband Network Limited kala suki palat akaban penteri kam ya kene ke project ban penbiang ya ke internet aka jela berokowai. Bat cisien beladap beneso ya kene ke soskular dapat hak ka company baka ban pendep ya kene ke project hapo ka arsenam.
Now it is the Bharat Broadband Network Limited. And the other, it's not BSNL, but the Department of Telecommunication, Government of India will be involved. And the state government is the third party. But the agency is the Bharat Broadband Network Limited, BBNL. Or the coverage, I presume, will not change. It will still be the same, the projects that were there. But of course, as things have moved forward, technology also has moved forward. So it's not just the BharatNet project, but also projects to increase the overall connectivity in the state through having more towers also has been there. Recently, Airtel has been awarded 860 towers to be set up throughout the state, especially in shadow areas and areas where the connectivity is not there. So multiple actions are being taken in that aspect. So this is one of them. And yes, the dynamics must have changed and the numbers must have grown. But that aspect is not very clear to us in the sense that we don't have those details with us. But I presume that we'll stick to the original aspect of the original scope of work. The idea is only, as I said, to improve the efficiency and to reduce the bottlenecks that are there.
Menteri rang ba uluang baka Kynhun Menteri kala menjuru ya gejeng terwa kerteng ya katuk kan ki beliau ki ban kli ke Meghalaya State Redressal Commission bat git khot jangga District Consumer Redressal Commission. Bat ke sorkar kan sekren bat kini bat sisian bekila ay kejeng menjur kan sele ke badan kam. Nalor kan ia uluang bah ke baydai bat ke commission hagi district lapan kamti hak tenat ke badai kemi bat menteri sorkar ubah kemi ke tenat ban Shim ya karai. Hagawai pat kaliang ulih tu bakal don gejeng terwa ban pendam no ya ke Meghalaya Medical Attendance Rules syajar kendai sepak prapuai bat ban menjur no da ke Meghalaya Medical Attendance Rules arhajar arpuai. Bat kejeng temu ban wanra ke rule ke batamai ke long ban penyat renti ha ke bedai bat kejeng ay ke medical reimbursement syakinong tri sorkar namar hakisnam ke belalai dadon bon kejeng duna bat jeng bakla bat kam syum dadon kejeng batai ke babnia ak ban siau ya ke reimbursement.
There was a proposal to repeal the Meghalaya Medical Attendance Rules 1981 and to pass the Meghalaya Medical Attendance Rules 2021. The main purpose of bringing in the new rules was to give a more structured approach to the medical reimbursements that are given to government employees. In the past, there were a lot of gray areas and there was not defined systems because of which the departments had to work a lot and in the sense that they had to go through every case in a different manner. At the same time, there were also areas where, because of non-clarity, the expenditures sometimes were not within the limits that should be. And therefore, keeping all these factors in mind, the Health Department has proposed that new rules should be made. And in these new rules, limits have been set on the expenditures in different categories, as well as recommendations to follow the central government's health scheme rates, which is called the CGHS rates, so that again the rates don't go beyond a certain point. At the same time, in the past 1981 rules, there were a large number of areas which were not covered under the rules. And so in the new rules, those areas are also going to be covered. And this, of course, include treatments like dental treatment, like hearing aid, artificial appliances, kidney, liver transplant, so on and so forth. And earlier in the rules, these kind of definitions were not there, and therefore it led to a lot of additional work to be done by the DHS, and therefore these rules were necessary. We are hopeful that with these rules, the overall expenditure on medical reimbursement will be much more structured and will also be done in a much more controlled manner.
U Konrad Kongkal Sangma uloong ba kajing tokit jong ke judicial inquiry halor kajing jaha ka khat lai terik unailar kalayat syakmat agi nigi lai sngi ke belalet. Nalor kani uloong ba di Director General Kipulet kejela ulapan cuti da kajing tho ba cisen bala pendep e barok kajing dankam ke sorkar kan saai jing BDU ba un Shim cuti. Hakabedai bagajing dawa ban wengkam shipor ye kilaingot ki hek pulet u Konrad Kongkal Sangma uloong ba kesorkar keladak ban keranchai ba kesorkar kan sa Shim kesenjam daga ba pensyong nongrem kat kum kajing lap jong ka Kynhun tokit kabalat luit. Uloong ba kamlong ban su penstom yunuru nrai di bandan igi sabut ki bapakah ba kesorkar kan sa penstom tang hadian baga judicial inquiry keladak ban IT ya ka kaipot.
So regarding the demand of removal, we have maintained our stand that whatever action has to be taken has to be on the basis of a fair inquiry that should be there, and based on what we feel or we think, one cannot simply take action. So there has to be based on some kind of inquiry, some kind of a proof. So a lot of people have demanded that a judicial inquiry should be there so that the truth comes out. And that is the reason why we agreed to that, and the judicial inquiry is going on. Therefore, I have maintained that the government will take action as and when the judicial inquiry gives its report, because that's how it will be fair, and we can take a fair call on that. But overall, the law and order situation is in control. And of course, at the same time, we have been monitoring things in a very detailed manner, and we've been ensuring that further situation should not escalate. The inquiry, as you're aware, that already is in place, and as far as my knowledge is, that because obviously I'm not directly involved in that, but Chief Secretary has already had a meeting with had a conversation with the judge who is heading this particular judiciary inquiry, and the process has already started. So I think it's been just the past 3 days now. So beyond that, in the last 3 days after he took over and took charge of the inquiry, I have not specifically had a review meeting on that, but I think we need to give him some time to start the process. But the process has started. The DGP has applied for leave. He had met me, and he specifically told me that he's applied for leave. The entire application and the process, it takes, a system is followed in order to process it. So that process is going on, and as soon as the process is over, his leave, as per his desire, will be given to him. So as that happens, he'll be going. But we obviously had session also in between, so obviously those things also are there. But it is being processed, and he will be granted his leave.